Hope you're having a great day, man. Positivities. The devil in reverse. Memories I'm picking up on. Grabbing somebody's attention is significant. Not really being in the energy of love or affection. I'm picking up on like disconnection, selfishness, but selflessness, attachments. Maybe there's a lack of attachment right now. There's a lack of being able to attach yourself to another. I was about to say another human being, another person. A lack of attachment. Twins in reverse. Oh, I said in reverse. In reverse is the curse in reverse. Twins. Somebody's name is significant. Your name not being cursed. You don't have a cursed name or fire here in reverse. Being such of an evil person, or not necessarily being an evil person. Lack of attachment. Gemini energy I'm picking up on. Curse in reverse. Taurus energy. The opposite of Capricorn. I forgot which one that is off the rip of my memory. Capricorn. I could do the math, but let me just switch it up. Polarity. What's the polarity? Cancer. Oh yeah. Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. So 2 Cancers, Gemini and Taurus. A double Cancer. One home going from one home to another, and speaking your way out of poverty into abundance. That's exactly why there was a home switch between 2 homes, because one of the homes was filled with poverty and poorness, while another home was filled with abundance and richness. Well, a little bit more, or however much the scale would be. If you was to scale it, it's more than the other one. You can grow more financially, or there's a lot more fortune. There's more fortune in another home, in the second home versus the first home. With the 2 Cancers and the Gemini and the Taurus energy. Midnight. Something's going to be over at midnight. Something's going to be over at midnight. And you're not really looking forward to it. Or maybe you should watch a movie. I just heard watch a movie. Midnight. If you had one movie to watch today, what movie would it be? was picking up on self-love. Cancer, Moon Knight, Cancer and Pisces, 12. Cancer and Pisces, dreams. Your dream home, something about manifesting your dream home. You may not want to get into the details of your dream home in front of a person, or just knowing who's watching you. I mean, if anything, if you was to have some sort of illness mentally or psychologically or some shit like that, it'll just be from the stems of people, places, and things that will pour in that first home, that first Cancer. And then now that you've transitioned into the second home, when it comes down to like, you know, it has more abundance and more room for abundance and stuff like that. It's not poor. There's no poverty in this home versus the last one. Dreams. What the fuck was I just talking about? Dreams. Shit, I forgot what the fuck I was leading on to, but dreams though. Okay. Yo, dreams. What the fuck was I just talking about? Oh, that the illness part, whether somebody's saying diagnosing you, whatever the fuck, that'll just be because people from or places, things that resonate. Well, not really places or things, well, kind of, sort of. But if you're surrounded by those same people from the first home, the poor home, and you know, or they make you think back at that time, back to that time, back to that relationship. You feel back to that relationship, back to that time when you were there versus now. That would kind of create a little bit of an illness, a little bit. Kind of like, bro, what the fuck? Why the hell did I have to see that shit when I'm in this new energy? Why do I have to be reminded of some poor ass shit? Some poor ass connection. Like I'm only trying to be reminded of strong connection, whether it has to be strong from an initiative, from the initial acknowledgement of that connection. Like the connection's already has been acknowledged, and it's still poor. Why even feed energy into it now in this new space, in this new energy? What I was talking about. Yeah, hell yeah. Page of Swords. You may feel as though there's no interruptions. There's nothing that can block or hinder some sort of growth when it comes down to you and your communication, you and your ideas, you and protecting yourself in a sense. It'll be the cause of yourself. Appreciate you, thank you. It'll be the cause of yourself to fuck up whatever that it is that you got going on. But you already then built the resilience to never fuck up anything that you got going on by purposely fucking it up. Like doing the reverse thing. You learn not to do it. You learn how not to do it so you can forever master how to do it. Cancer. Shadow. So we was talking about shadow magic and stuff like that, shadow casting, the world here in reverse. Getting back on topic, kind of recentering the focus of why you're here, what you're supposed to be doing. who you're supposed to be dealing with, what you should be getting into. The Knight of Swords here in reverse. I just said something about the King, so that's also significant. Not being able to go anywhere, not being able to do what you want to do. There may be some people that's hindering, or got some sort of limitations. That's that Pisces energy. A limitation, a curfew, a bedtime, a lights out time, or something like that, or just when you can't shine this light. You can only shine this light for a certain period of time, and then having to be aware, having to trust your instincts, leaving somebody behind too that was weak. That's also significant. Somebody who's real weak, or you may see a lot of weakness in certain individuals, but not necessarily. I feel like you're not even looking in that direction. You don't have that mindset anymore. 9 of Cups here at the bottom. There's a new idea that it's just an energy of just letting go. Survival of the fittest. The weak can't survive, you feel me? So you're not going to feed into them. You're not going to feed them. The weak. 8 of Wands here in reverse. You're going to be focusing your energy more towards people that have the strength to uphold whatever that it is that you're giving them to hold. Leaving behind old mindsets of working. I don't know, that's like a young mindset to you when it comes down to building a relationship with a person. Like, you really just don't give a fuck, like, about shit like that. Like, you're gonna be focusing on what you're gonna be focused on, and nobody's gonna be able to change that about you or get in between what you already have set to be focused on. Everything else is pretty much irrelevant. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. This nonchalant energy got Cancer, so that's something that you can also keep in mind. Cancer has a real big nonchalantness energy. Even though it may seem like they care a lot, they really are nonchalant than a bitch. Like, they're real nonchalant. This is why they may attract towards like the bad boy, the bad girl type of partners. Okay. What's going on? What's going on? Ace of Cups here in reverse. Knight of Swords. Like, if they ain't focusing on healing and what you want to heal, which we didn't already got defined in the last reading, like, our healing is towards money. Like, we like to heal with money. That's what heals us. Money. Making money, getting money, having money, putting money where it needs to go, flipping money, investing money, buying things. Like, especially if your 5th house is in Taurus, like, 5th house Leo, or if you are a Taurus, regardless, 5th house, like Aries, Leo, Scorpio kind of energies, Gemini energies also too. That's what you like. That's what you like. I would say for Taurus, wherever your Taurus is at, that's where you don't like to put your energy into on a majority scale. Like, say if your Taurus, what's Taurus? Your 2nd house. Say your 2nd house is in like Aries. Like, you don't like talking about yourself, or you don't like doing things for yourself. You would really actually like doing things for others. You like doing things to build a relationship, like a divine unionship. In that sense, I'm a Scorpio. My birthday is actually today. I was gonna say I'm a true Scorpio, or somebody said I was a true Scorpio, October 28th, but because then you got different types of Scorpios and shit like that. But the Chariot, You're content with where you're going. See, that's just another thing dealing with people. They're never content, or they may never be content with where they're going, where they're headed to. They may not know where they're going, where they're headed to. They don't have no long-term desirable destination, or they haven't casted a shadow that far in their life. With the Queen of Pentacles, you've already did money manifestation type of things where that you know where you want to be at in the future. You already have a 3-year like plan that's gonna set you up for the next rest of your life or some shit like that. For all I fucking know. Eight of Cups. Illusions. Someone feels as though that you're casting illusions. You're not making it seem realistic, or you're hitting the spot a little bit too deep. Makes people feel insecure. The Empress here in reverse. Cancer. So basically trauma bonding with a person. You're not in that energy to be hearing people's problems. Unless you're getting something out of it at the end of it. I'm getting like with a purpose, like Page of Swords. You're always here for a purpose. You're moving purposeful, which is a little bit maybe different than whoever or whatever or yourself. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Someone may want to communicate to you how much they love and miss you and appreciate you, or appreciate who you was. They've realized a lot of things, but I'm picking up it's like a Gemini or Scorpio or a Pisces. They don't really want to actually say that type of shit, but they feel like that. That's another thing about this person. They feel like it smells off for them how they feel, what they would want to say, but they just never want to say. So it's a waste of time, waste of energy, because they feel, I don't know, someone's lost, but they feel like they're found, and that's not what you're supposed to be looking for as a feeling. You're supposed to be looking for, you know where you at basically, and you know what you're doing. Nine of Wands, lack of spirituality. Also, too, Knight of Swords in reverse. There's been a lack of communication about spirituality. Maybe in the past, with the Knight of Swords in reverse. So a lot of coming from a past background of unspiritual communication, unspiritual relationships, unspiritual business with individuals. Unspiritual jobs, unspiritual maturing in a relationship, in communication, in a job, in a workspace, whatever the case may be. You're coming from a place of that, or you came from a place like that. So if anything, that's also another thing you could say, like, oh, okay, boom, like we fell out because it was an unspiritual based relationship, and I'm more spiritual. Like, you would like to have more spiritual based relationships, and that person wasn't. King of Swords. Learning how to communicate properly. There's a lot of things that you're healing when it comes down to like communication, being able to explain, being able to reason, give a reason as to why certain things are the way that they are. Appreciate you. Thank you, buddy. the Hangman. Over the Eight of Wands here in reverse. Five of Pentacles, King of Swords, the Eight of Wands, and then the Hangman here in reverse. Backwards, something seems backwards also too, but leaving a situation or slowing down, a slow down process when it came down to being enlightened upon things. Like, it's real rare for you to be enlightened upon something because you're already such an enlightened person. Yeah. Let me see something I'm about to search up. Signifies delays, stagnation, and a lack of progress due to frustration and miscommunication. The Eight of Wands here in reverse. So there's been a stagnation, a lack of progress when it comes down to spirituality, enlightenment, because people growing up, they weren't trying to talk about things that were enlightening. So that's why you know, that's not why anything, but that's just something to know. Okay, we fell out because I wasn't getting enlightened. I wasn't being enlightened, being with that person, being around that person, being within that circumstance or situation. I was not being enlightened. I was not getting enlightened. I was not being illuminated upon what I needed to be enlightened about. Appreciate you. I did it myself. Hell yeah, I do. Yes, sir. Oh shit. All right. So that's that part. Just so Cancer, it's just tapping in. All right, bet. So we're on path right now about the shadow shit. Cause oh my god, the Knight of Cups here in reverse and the Ace of Cups here in reverse. Oh shit. So, like, a lot of your healing, like, you had a lot of work be done, but a lot more work could have been done if you had the support of communication, where that it wouldn't have to be so, like, a little bit at a time, or you gotta focus on the major things. You could have built an arsenal versus then having just your primary and your secondary. Alright, so the reverse Ace of Cups, emotional blockage, unfulfilled love. They knew that about you too, and being enlightened was like your thing. Like, you like being enlightened. Like, you like spiritual enlightenment. Once they noticed that, they walked around and just was like, fuck you, I'm not going to let you spiritually be enlightened upon anything by not talking about those things, by not showing you those things that could spiritually enlighten you. Not just based on spirituality, but just on anything. Emotional immaturity, not being ready enough to take that trip, emotional immaturity, disappointment, insincerity, insincere. Someone was being insincere on purpose because they wanted to be an emotional blockage for you. The belly of a beast, man. Fuck. Alright, back. Oh shit, I picked it up and I reversed it back to upright and it fell like this. So you're about to be enlightened upon something that you're going real fast towards, where you're entering, where you're going. Somebody's gonna show you something. Queen of Pentacles, King of Wands in reverse. Basically that you know something that other people don't know. That's gonna put you in a higher position than them. Or you've already seen the results of sticking to one thing and taking you far. Eight of Cups and the Three of Swords in reverse. And then just not loving things, certain things. I don't know, people may love certain things and you just learn how to give love to that thing versus then just automatically just having love for it. Like, you know how to turn it on and off. Like, you know how to control that switch. King of Wands in reverse. I'm gonna search up the King of Wands in reverse. And that's gonna be pretty much it for this one. A lack of leadership, yeah, like definitely, like I just said, you're gonna be able to put yourself into the, like, you're gonna be in position. But you put yourself already in position. You're in position now because you just was decisive with what you actually fall in love with. Motherfuckers was just letting naturality let them fall in love into shit when they didn't have no sort of spiritual background. They didn't build that. That's because they just lacked to build enlightenment spiritually before and decided, well, if that wasn't in my life, they probably got into it, probably got clowned for trying to be into it, and then they just said, fuck this shit, I'm never going to be in that shit again. And that made them lack a foundation to put themselves in position of where they wanted to be in position. Like, say if they lost their parental roles or some shit like that, or say if they lost their job or some shit like that, say if they lost their career that they've always wanted to pursue. That's because they didn't take advantage of when you were around and build that connection of we have a relationship with a foundation relationship between a child or however the age may be, if y'all both are children. You know, if you build that characteristic, that trait early, where that you've had friends where or you had people, you had individuals where y'all were spiritually enlightening each other, enlightening yourselves within the communication, within the bond, you will have a lot more foundation versus then just letting life be life and you just doing physical shit. And then the only sense of spiritual enlightenment would just be what not to say and what to say. Because what you said one time fucked over something that you was trying to accomplish. So you just may dial it down a little bit, and that's basically it. That's probably what this person was just living by. While you were living by, well, there's a purpose as to why things are being said at certain times. There's a purpose as to why you're asking me these things, and you've noticed it, and you took action before the action was revealed in person. You feel me? This person never did shit like that. Or if they heard those answers, those sayings within the shadows, they were just thinking that was just their mind thinking, and didn't really take action upon or take appreciation for what they were hearing in the shadows and stuff like that. So really, they lack spiritual interest, and you had lots of spiritual interest. So you took a path of enlightenment, and they weren't aiding upon that. So you had to separate yourself so that you can get the full experience and journey, or a fuller experience and journey of enlightenment, spiritual enlightenment. Appreciate you. And yeah, nah, nobody put me on to this. Nobody put me on to anything. For real. I put myself onto everything. But I tattooed myself, bro. I used to tattoo outside, bro. Like, I put myself on. Like, for me to be here, like, there's a lot of people out there that tattoo themselves, or they tattoo their entire body. Well, long story short, for me to even get to that point, I self-taught, no one put me on to anything. I was the put oner. I was never put on. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off right there. You already know the vibe. I gotta go do some in about an hour and a half. In about an hour, I gotta do a little reading. Not that I'm gonna make it little or make it short, but bang that reading out, and then I'll be back, most likely. Probably not by the end of today. I'll probably be back tomorrow after I bang out that reading. And if y'all ever want a reading, I can contact my email, or while I'm live, I do $20 specials. If y'all just send me $20 while I'm live, that'll be your time for reading. So basically, you tell me what you want to read, and I do your reading right here, right now. But all the prices for my readings are down below in the description after I'm live, when I'm not live. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off right there. Y'all already know the